All right, peace, peace, peace. What up? First and foremost, hopefully the Most High in your house shall is blessing y'all day. By His mercies, we are consumed. We're alive in the Most High in your house shall's body. Until we're naturally alive, man. I want to get into this real quick. You know, I might, we're alive. And one, man, just, it's really important, man, but to go into, just to, like, show love to people, man, because love covers all sins, man. It just covers everything, man. Like, love is strong as death, even stronger than death, man. Because, man, I was just for a little situation happened last night, man. You know, there's a lot of people on this earth that, like, think that nobody cares about them, that nobody loves them, man. So, because, it's crazy, we're going to say it wasn't Solomon 1, but on the natural side, that's why a lot of people are killing themselves, suicide. Because, you know what it is, too? I never even thought about this until, to the brother that sent me firstborn, he said this, like, because I always didn't think that, like, it's really, like, really crazy, asinine, or like acid 10, acid 11, as Skip Bayless says, but to think that, like, because a lot of times, too, this is, like, a lot of times, too, this is the consensus of, like, when people say that, oh, suicide is selfish, because you're not thinking about, like, your, people that care about you. Like, how can that be selfish when that person thinks nobody cares about them? Like, that's not selfish at all. Because it's like, because that kind of goes into something I was talking about with my homie, 2 nights, like Friday night, man. It's like, it's not always about you, man. He had a little situation, and we was talking about how we always talk about it's not about you, man. It's not always about me, man. It's not always about, like, you. That's why we always go into the testimony to witness the gospel, man. Because, like, it's about the Most High in your house shot. Even in naturally in life, man, things that aren't always about you, man. So, yeah, man, I was crazy because I was watching Power last night, Raising Canaan, and Marvin, the character of Marvin, finally said that to Rock, man. I was like, man, thank you, man, for finally saying that, sticking up for yourself, because he said, because y'all that watch the show, he said to Rock, he said, listen, not everything in my life, Rock, revolves around you. Not every decision I make, that's not about you. I did this, like, because damn, it's my life and I made a decision. I'm just doing that. So yeah, man, but that really stuck out to me, that last night episode. It was a good episode, but yeah, man, that's just is what it is. It's not always about me, man. It's not always, it's bigger than you, man. It's not, because you know what it is, too, because we're kind of gearing off of, we're about to talk about it real quick, but that's where this new age, like, self, like, care and self, like, love is going into. Like the brother that sent me the first one said, it's kind of leaning towards, like, 2 Timothy 3, men being lovers of themselves, like, worshiping yourself, like, have your own belly as your own God. You being your Luciferianism, pretty much, like, you being your own God, man. So, and don't get it twisted, because, like, in the scripture, in the word, there is scriptures talking about that, like, quote unquote, like, protecting your peace and stuff like that. But it's the spirit of actually, like, no, man, making sure, like, don't let nobody nobody can remove your joy from you, less except for the Most High in your house, y'all. But, like, things like Proverbs and taking care of yourself, because no one's getting twisted. There are scriptures in there talking about the importance of loving yourself and taking care of yourself, but it's not more. It's more the spirit behind it, though. It's not like this new age stuff, like, but that was written to happen. But that's neither here nor there, man. But let's get this, because we're going to stay in Wisdom Solomon 1 a little bit today. But since we just mentioned suicide, we'll get this, man, because this is just on a natural tip. Like, this spiritually is talking about your life. Like, you're not, like, this is going into Tobit chapter 10, verse 12, Tobit chapter 12, verse 10, like, if you sin against your own sin, like, you're just, you're just ruining yourself when you're living wickedly and sinning, and, like, and not, just being adverse to Most High in your house shot in the word. Like, you're going against yourself. It's not affecting them, or, like, don't get it twisted. Your actions do affect other people, but, like, if you're constantly living in sin wickedly, you're only hurting yourself. But yeah, this is, but naturally, this is going into suicide, like, on a natural tip. It says, seek not death in the era of your life, and pull not upon yourself destruction in the work with the works of your hands. So don't get twisted, though, because your house shall sorrowful in the death. Since we talk about Tobit wanted to die, Moses wanted to die, because don't get twisted, because, like, especially if you, like, us brothers and sisters in the word, you can't feel like that, because if Yahushua, the Son of God himself, the greatest man to walk the earth himself, felt that way, how much more can we, man? So don't think because you're in the word, because this is still life, man. This human flesh is still there. So, yeah, man. So, it says, seek not death in the era of your life, and pull not upon yourself destruction with the destruction of the work of your hands. So yeah, naturally that's going into things like suicide. But but yeah, man. But my point being to circle back to the point is like a lot of people don't feel like people that love them or care about them out there, man. Because I had a conversation like that with somebody last night, man, and yeah, man, it's good, man, because it brought the person like I ain't gonna go into it too deep, but. Anyway, also really what I want to focus on, what we want to focus on, honestly, is like because it was when one of my brothers and work came over here, we went to a game like we went to a game last week, and then after the fact that we start talking, then of course eventually the word came out, but. It is important for this, man, because it's not really a response. This is more the mindset and the spirit and mentality, man, because it's like, honestly, man, it's just like, here's, I just want to get the point, like, here's where we get the dynamic, because everything starts, like your house, I said, things are spiritually, you got to start looking at things spiritually, then it manifests itself in the physical, like, and certain dynamics, it come from the Most High house. It come from like the Most High and Christ and the Son and man. That's where you get from. That's why even pretty much like we always say, to know how our people operate, man, you have to know how women and children conduct themselves, man. Because this honestly, this like natural, man. Like there's been a meme going. There's a meme online, but it's very true, man. It's like it's a meme with a TV and like a small apartment, and it says, let's give this to a man and he'll be good. Like, man, we're good with this stuff like that. It's the simple things, man. It's the simplicity. So how much more is it with the Most High house shot? Because pretty much the Most High house shot, man, they're simple men. Like, they just won't, like, they're not. They're very complex, honestly. They're very deep because, like, their knowledge, wisdom, understanding. But honestly, what they require and things, honestly, they're very simple. It's not really, like, too much. It's just for the fact that, people just don't want to do it. It's the same with a man and, like, men and like and when women don't want to do certain things. It's like, listen, all that stuff, like, most of the stuff, like, honestly, man, like, most of the stuff, even like, most men like require, man. It's like, well, really add like cooking, cleaning. Honestly, those are simple things. Like, but to be honest, like, especially when we come to the Lord, it's like, no, listen, I require a lot of things in you. Like, it's like, like the commandments. It's like some of like the brother sent me first one said. That's like cooking and cleaning. That's the simple things. But really, what the Most High house wants, your devotion, your faith, your obedience. Like, doing my will. Like, killing off the old man. Like, righteousness. Long suffering, mercy, peace, temperance, self-control, like those things that like he said in Matthew 23, the weightier matters of the law. That's what it is. Very, very, that's what he really wants. But but at the end of the day, man, like, the Most High house out there, simple men, honestly. They're like, that's all, that's all what it is. But it's like people just don't want to do it. Similar to, like, honestly, how women don't want to do it. They just don't want to be wives. They don't want to be married. Like, this is not even just talking about the natural woman, because this is like really, because the Most High house, that's how brilliant they are. They just hold a spiritual mirror to themselves. Because how we see our women and children, like, conduct ourselves. That's how we look to the Most High house, man. How especially we see, honestly, it starts like, that's where it's a domino effect. Because, we got certain women that get frustrated when their children don't listen. Don't get twisted, because there's a lot of women, they're enablers because they're children themselves. But when you have women that get frustrated, like, when the children don't listen to them, that's how the Most High house looks when you don't listen to them and the man they put before you. Like, honestly, and same with the man. When the man, like, when we're like, this is going in the word and outside the word. When the man is upset, how there's women are acting, and children are acting, like, it's really a reflection of like how we look to the Most High house, man. But it's just that, man. But point being is that, like, because I touched on this before. We touched on this before, but the whole, like, let's get this Ecclesiastes 12:12. You ain't gonna go to Wisdom of Solomon. It says, Wisdom Ecclesiastes 12:12. It says, and further by these, my son, be admonished of making many books. There is no end. Much study is the weariness of the flesh. So yeah, exactly. And also Sirach says the same thing as well. Like, when we studied studying a lot, it can bring a lot of weirdness in mind. It's like you're really like going, especially man, when you're meditating on that. But pretty much, man, just kind of going to listen, because me personally, like, of course, I subscribe to the scriptures, of course, the scriptures in the Apocrypha. But I count the Apocrypha with the word, but But it's not just talking about, like, the Book of the Dead, the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, stuff like that. Yeah, we know that's kind of going to that, making the many books. But it's going into stuff like, the Enochs and the, all the other pseudepigrapha books. But because you know what it is too, like, a lot of times too, that's where, like, it's just because a lot of things too. Here's the thing with that stuff like that, man. Because it's not enough for some people. Like, the word isn't enough. Like, And then that's the thing, man. The Most High Yahweh laid it out, but that's why it says this, man. That's why the Most High Yahweh said this, man. Like, they're simple men. Like, honestly, like, that's when it's similar to, like, it's similar to when women, like, Dave Chappelle made a joke, like, honestly, years ago on his actually 25 years ago on his Killing Them Softly special, man. He said, listen, man, a lot of the women, they make a lot of mistakes for trying to figure out, like, what men want from other women rather than listen to what a man wants. That's the same thing with the Most High Yahweh, man. That's why a lot of times people in the word, they just go kind of, it can go, like, off the rails a little bit. Because listen, he just laid it out, like, honestly, because, like, he just laid out what it was. That's why David said, listen, I don't go in matters too much that are too high for me, or like seeking. Sirach 3:21 goes into, like, how not to seek out things higher, like, trying to go into deep things, man. No, man, just listen, follow out what the Most High Yahweh says in the word. Because a lot of times too, like, I think honestly the shout out to Brother Chronicles of Judah, because he said this perfectly one time. He said, listen, all those things, like those pseudepigrapha books, man, those are, like, honestly, because listen, I always say, like, the word is like the Most High Yahweh's movie. Just there, it is what it is. And don't get twisted, I have read some of those pseudepigrapha books before. I think I talked about before, but I like, like the 12 patriarchs and stuff. There was good stuff in there, but but it's like, okay, cool. That could be like, it's like a movie, like, there's certain things like the perfect movie, and they had deleted scenes. It's like, okay, I see why they left that out. It's like, that's how I look at these other books, man. It's like, okay, yeah, I could just not. That's good. And most of them, like, were written in the 1800s, and once, like, kind of Esau came into power, and, like, most of those things, they kind of don't really even line up with the word. There's good stuff in there, but it's like, once you examine it with the word, it really doesn't line up. So that's is what it is. I know, listen, a lot of brothers and sisters, whoever that read those books, listen, that's good. If you read those books, that's your business. That's fine. I'm not casting that's your business, but that's just, like, it is what it is with that. But yeah, man, it's just like the word is, a lot of times things, the word isn't enough, honestly. But let's grab this too, because since we but this all goes back into the simplicity of things, man. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 1, it says, love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Think of the Lord with a good heart, and simplicity of heart seek him. So yeah, man, simplicity is like the heart seeking, man. That's just is what it is, man. Let's just grab this Sirach 3:21, man, because, like, because all that other stuff trying to get, because that's what I know it is too. Because it's similar to, like, what Yahushua said to the disciples, man. Because when they say, okay, like, Lord, Master, how do we get saved? Like, shout out to Brother Kwame Call, because they said this on their camp one time, their video. He said what? Just believe on me, as the scriptures say. But see, a lot of, like, a lot of things, a lot of, like, fractions, like, that's not brothers and sisters in the word, just people in the spiritual fear. They just don't want to do that, though. It's just like, it's simple. Like, okay, just believe on him. Of course, we live according to promises, the faith, believing on him, and of course, like, his instruction, the obedience to the law, statutes, commandments come with that, and living according to promises. But yeah, man, that's just is what it is. But it is too, because like the brother I was watching class yesterday, man, a lot of times we don't, like, even I was guilty of this too, even still to this day. Like, I had to kill that mindset off. But, especially coming into where I was guilty of, okay, if we do this and this and this, like, then we'll be saved, or then the end will come. Like, no, it has nothing, like, nothing will happen until this man does his will, man. That's it. That's just it. So, it's a very simple man. The Most High Yahweh, they're very complex. Like, they're very complex, very deep, very, like, they are, but at the same time, they're still, like, very simple of what they require, man. It really is. This is the fact that people just don't want to do it, though. You know, so it is what it is. Because he even it says Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 21. It says, Seek not out the things that are too hard for thee, but neither such things are above thy strength. Yeah, exactly, man. But focus on the strength that is Isaiah 26:4. Trust in the Lord, everlasting strength, man. This kind of goes into, don't get twisted, man. Because I was guilty of this. Like, you know, when I especially first coming to word, first coming years in the word, man. Like, we tend to like go into end time prophecy. Like, you know, we want to go into the height of Jacob's trouble, Revelation, the second Esdras, the Daniels, the beasts, and this and that. But like, honestly, man, well, what the Most High Yahweh I was looking for is like, honestly, like, you know, the simplicity of things. Can you be obedient to me? Can you have faith in me? Like, to trust in me? Like, you know, live like, you know, the meekness, the temperance, like, you know, the self-control, like, you know, doing his will, like the weightier matters of the law, man. Judgment, mercy, faith, all that stuff, man. Because honestly, that stuff, let's get started right chapter 19 verse 24, man. Like, it says, He that hath small understanding and feareth Yahweh is better than one that hath much wisdom and transgresseth the law of the Most High. So yeah, man, it's like better for you to not have, like, you know, not the best, like, you know, not know all the breakdowns and this and that, rather than like just being faithful and being righteous, being a good brother, being a good sister, being like, you know, loving and caring about the other people's around you, like, you know, being faithful, like, you know. And it is what it is, rather than you knowing all this stuff and being wicked as hell, man. So that's what trying to get too deep, man. That's the thing too. That's like, you know, yeah, man. It's really just the simplicity of it, man. It's just like, you know, but you know, it's not good enough, man. It's just like, you know, people, cause you know, it's too. That's why even like, you know, other things too, just in life, man. The simplicity was always the best. That's why. But you know, it's too. It's like, because I'm about to watch the playoffs later, NBA. But, you know, that's why, like, you know, people don't talk about, like, the Spurs that much or talk about the Patriots that much. Because, you know why? They mastered the simplicity. Like, of course, it wasn't as flashy as watching, like, the Showtime Lakers or the Patriots. Like, even in the NFL, it wasn't like watching, like, the, you know, the Kansas City Chiefs or the greatest show on turf, those Rams, those high-scoring offenses. Like, you know, it wasn't like that. But it was the simplicity. It's even like boxing, man. That's why a lot of people don't like watching Floyd Mayweather. To true boxing maven or true boxing expert or savant, they'll see the greatness of, like, you know, of a Floyd Mayweather, because he's so great that he makes it look easy, but people just want to see the Mike Tyson knockouts and, like, you know, just and just, like, you know, just fisticuffs, man. Like, no, man, but like, no, like him mastering that defense and, like, you know, his attacks, his, like, you know, his, like, yeah, those are masterful to watch, but it was kind of boring in the general public's eyes. It's the same with the word, man. This is like that, man. This is like the simple things. Honestly, like the simple things, I love the simple things. To me, I love them. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. A lot of times too, people want to, because, you know what it is too. You're dealing with. Here's the thing. Well, I always say too, it's our gift and our curse. We're very histrionic people. We, like, you know, just people in general, like, but especially our people. We like, you know, we're very, like, you know, we like to be over the top a lot of times too. We like that a lot of times. We like that, but that can be, like, you know, a gift and a curse a lot of times too, because that can be a gift, because that's what makes our, like, even outside the world, that's what makes our people, like, you know, special people, like, you know, honestly, how we're gifted in different things. But also too, this is simplicity, man. Like, you know, yeah, man. So yeah, man, honestly, man. But let's get to 2 Corinthians 11 and honestly, man, because it's the same thing with a woman, man. Like, you know, they just, like, you know, they, because, you know, this too, that's goes into, like, the whole videos that we talk about. Girls just want to have fun. They think, like, you know, most Western women, most women, and not all women, because I know some women that they just love the monotony. They just love being the actual wife. Like, they don't mind that. But, you know, like, majority, especially in time now, majority, that's why most of these women don't even want to be married. Like, you know, majority of these women, they just think life is supposed to be, they don't like monotony, as the Brother Chronicles of Judah used to say. They think life is supposed to be some roller coaster every day and this and that. They don't like the same thing over them. But until they'll do it for a time, then they eventually get bored. Then they have a quote unquote, like, whole phase, or they just go out in the streets and doing whatever, or going man to man here and this girls trip here, all this stuff, the other type of stuff, Dubai and all this nonsense. But, you know, It's the same thing with a man. Like, same thing with us, our people. Same thing. Like, we don't want to be married to because it's the simplicity of it. Like, it's just not like, or even in the word, like, it becomes too simple. That's why different doctrines, different teachings come along, because it's like, okay, the word plain isn't good enough. Like, even just going into the testimony, the gospel, the new covenant, those things aren't good enough. So that's what it is. But let's get 2 Corinthians. Then we can probably gonna close out with this. Second Corinthians chapter 11 verse 3. It says, let's see here. 2 Corinthians chapter 11 verse yes, 3. I'm sorry. But I fear, at least ye be by any means, and the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety. So your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Christ, or in Mashiach. So yeah, man. Just like Eve. Eve went to her own lesson. Shoot, we're Eve, because that's another video for another day. But whatever happened in the garden, that's something else. I was thinking about that the other day. But we're Eve, like, Jeremiah 6:2, like, you compare, like, one, because if Yahushua is the second Adam, and 2, Jeremiah 6:2, he compares, like, Israel to a woman, and Eve means mother of all living. And if you go Galatians 4:26, it says Jerusalem, like, pretty. Let's look at that for real quick for our paraphrase. It's called pretty much the mother of all, pretty much. So what is that? Pretty much same. We're Eve, pretty much. But anyway, Eve, she went after her, like, wanted to deep things. Like, Adam gave her the word, things of that nature, but she wouldn't go after lust, own desires, wanted that type of stuff, deep things. It caught her eye. Same thing with us now. So, but it's just the simplicity of it. That's why he says, listen, and your mind seek him with simplicity of a heart, man, because he's a simple man. That's all it is. But that just is what it is, man. But it says, by fear, at least by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your minds should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Christ. So in Mashiach, man. So yeah, man. It's really, this kind of ties into, like, the whole girls just want to have fun, and, like, the simplicity type of thing. It can kind of be merged together. But yeah, man, it just is what it is, man. It's like, kind of going to those other books a lot of times and thinking this and this. No, man, the Most High, like, the word is perfect within itself already, man. Like, it is what it is. But listen, because they don't get twisted. There's some good stuff in there, like some good, like, stuff, principles in there. Some of it lines up with the word, but most of it, like, the others don't, man. But so, and like Psalms 85 says, the word kisses together, they flow together, man. So it kind of sprung off the conversation I had with my brother, because he kind of, like, goes into other stuff. But this is what it is with that, man. I just want to pretty much, even that aside, even, like, the other, like, even, like, the other books aside, like, that aside, that's not really the point. It's really just focus on the simplicity of the Most High Yahushua, and when we come to serve and come in the word, man. Because honestly, like, a lot of times too, I came in conventional way, like, that's why, like, the testimony and the witness and the gospel is so important. Because listen, like, I came in conventional way. Listen, we're the people of the book, the Lord sets your commandments. Then once that happens, it's focused on doctrine. But when you focus on doctrine, you gotta, it's good to go in doctrine sometimes, but then you gotta, like, go back on certain things, man, because doctrine is like, but when it's kind of like, a curriculum and things of that nature. But when you go into that, sometimes things can be wrong. But when you focus on the witness and the testimony and the gospel, the covenant, man, it's really, because you're pretty much, when you're doing that, you're preaching the Most High, you're preaching the Most High Yahshua, you're preaching God. So you can't go wrong with that. Like the brother sent me the first one said, brothers like Kwame Call, Shalamah, Akawar, Brother Elijah, and all the other brothers as well over the four corners of the earth, they go into that new covenant, the gospel, man. That's just is what it is, man. So, shoot, I just kind of, like, I'm just kind of now getting on board. It's really not me. It's really the Most High house shot. It's really, like, I'm starting to look at it now from that standpoint, man. So it's really no greatness of my own or nothing. This is really all about His mercies, man. So, hopefully the Most High house shot blesses your day, man. So, peace.